Welcome to What the Perimenopause Yoga. Today's practice will be for creaky joints and muscles. The only props you will need for today will be either a yoga strap, if you have one. If you don't have one, you can use a towel, you can use a scarf. Even for a lot of you, a long sock will do. So go ahead and grab one of those and then sit down and let's begin our practice. So come into a seated position on your mat, nice and comfortable so your sit bones are in touch with the ground. You might need to move some of the flesh out of the way. You can be comfortable cross-legged, or you can bring heels in line with the ankles. Whatever your range of flexibility is today. Relax the shoulders, relax the face, especially that jaw, and let your wrists just gently rest on your knees. And we're going to start by breathing. Long in-breaths, long out-breaths. Closing your eyes. And with each out breath, think about relaxing your face a little more, relaxing your shoulders a little more. Feel your heartbeat begin to slow, your thoughts begin to calm. And now start tapping into the ujjayi breath, the yogic breath, the ocean sounding breath. You can hear me already making it. So the breath literally sounds like the waves of the ocean. You make this by closing off the back of the throat just a little bit, but don't think too hard about the mechanics of it. Think about making the sound. This breath is a very important part of the yoga practice. It's essentially what makes yoga yoga, is the use of the breath. It's how we move energy throughout the body. It's how we bring oxygen into the muscles. And they found that actually this particular breath brings more oxygen into the body. So we're going to work on maintaining this breath throughout this practice and every practice that we do. And now we're going to begin rolling out the neck, keeping our long inhales and our long exhales. Our spine nice and long, so be careful not to start crumpling. And just let the chin hang as it comes around the front. And as you come around the back, think about still lifting the back of the cranium away from the shoulders so that you're not crunching it back there. Keeping nice long inhales and exhales. The next time your chin comes to your chest, switch directions. So if you're doing this practice, you might have noticed that as you've moved into perimenopause, into your early, mid, late 40s, your joints are getting stiffer. Your muscles are taking longer to recover after you go to the gym or after a new activity or a poor night's sleep. And that's not just you're getting older. It's because the estrogen in your body is decreasing. Estrogen has anti-inflammatory effects. Go ahead, lengthen the spine and press gently on the back of the head and get a nice stretch through the shoulders and upper back, keeping the breath. So as our estrogen declines, we have more inflammation in the body. At the same time, we're losing collagen, which helps to pad our joints, keep our tendons lubricated. So a lot of different things happening at once that can lead to more stiffness, more creakiness, feeling like it takes longer to recover. We're going to stretch our arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop the hands to the shoulders, and then we're going to roll both shoulders forward, exploring the full range of motion. See if you can even bring your elbows together in the front, not forcing though. We don't want to strain ourselves here. We're trying to loosen ourselves up. Again, continuing with the breath, always using the breath. So today's practice is going to focus a lot on dynamic movements and just trying to loosen things up. This isn't a cure for the stiffness, but it can help relieve that symptom. Switching directions, open the chest. The only cure for the symptoms of perimenopause, if we can even call it a cure, is hormone replacement therapy. But whether you are or you are not on hormone replacement therapy, we can still work to minimize the symptoms. And on an exhale, go ahead and relax your arms at the side. Check in with your shoulders and make sure they're nice and relaxed. And then we're going to switch our feet. So if you're crossed or if your heels aligned with ankles, switch the opposite one. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, twist. Bringing your back arm behind you so your hand is on the floor. Inhale up to the center. And exhale, switching to the other side. Inhale. And exhale. And your next exhale, we're going to hold here for a few breaths. Looking over your right shoulder, but again, not straining. Inhale up to center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, we're going to come onto all fours into downward facing, not into downward facing dog yet, just onto all fours into tabletop. We're going to have wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Inhale, gently lifting the chin, dropping the belly down. Exhale, pressing the hands into the floor and rounding the back. Inhaling and exhaling. If you've had a poor night's sleep, or if you're feeling wired or jittery, you might find it hard to slow down. So don't think about how slow the movement is. Think about moving fully through the movement, because that's what we have available to us when we slow down. We can really feel every part of our body as we sink into the asana, into the pose. Inhale, lifting the chin, and then on your next exhale, we're going to curl the toes under and push back into downward dog. This might feel a little bit tight right now. You might not be feeling so flexible at the beginning of our practice. Go ahead and feel free to move around. If you need to sort of walk out the legs, if you need to play with moving back and forth to get those shoulders warmed up, do what you need to do here. And just remember to relax the neck. Let the head hang. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg up behind us, and exhale, bring the right foot in between the hands. We'll drop the left foot to the floor, and if you'd like, you can curl your mat under to give a little bit of padding to that back knee. We're coming into a low lunge here, and we're going to make it dynamic. Again, trying to loosen up the joints, gently warm and loosen the muscles. We're going to inhale, sinking into the hip, arms reaching up, and we're going to exhale, shifting the weight back onto that left leg and folding over the right leg. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhale, coming back. If you're finding the balance a little bit difficult here, you can keep your hands on the floor, remembering to lift the chin and the chest as you come forward. So feeling the stretch in the hip and feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. And the next inhale, we're going to reach up, or keep your hands on the floor if you prefer, and then we're going to twist. So you're going to bring your left hand to your right knee, and you're going to reach your right arm out behind you. Gentle twist here. Keeping the spine nice and long, the shoulders relaxed. And you can think about drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward in order to keep them square. On your next inhale, reaching up. And exhale, we'll come back into downward dog, curling the toes under. And settling back in the pose. Take a couple of breaths here. We're going to inhale, lifting the left leg up, and same thing on this side. Bringing the feet between the hands, dropping the knee, folding the mat under if you need to. We're going to inhale, coming forward, sinking into the hip. Exhaling, coming back, feeling a nice stretch in the leg. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Keeping your hands on the ground for balance if you need to. And maintaining that ujjayi breath. And then we're going to inhale, lifting the arms. And as we did on the other side, we're going to exhale, this time right hand to left knee, and reaching back with the left hand. Again, gentle effort here, not straining. Pulling the left hip back. And pushing gently that right hip forward in order to keep them square. Your next inhale, lifting the arms. And exhale, curling the back toes and returning to downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, you can walk or jump your feet up to your hands, inhaling to flat back, exhaling forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet and lifting up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Now we'll move into some sun salutations. Again, we're still warming up, loosening up the body. So this is the basic vinyasa style sun salutation. We're going to inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, we're going to step or jump the feet back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. I'm hopefully you're feeling the back of the legs open up a little bit now, bringing those heels closer to the floor. On your next inhale, stepping or jumping your feet between the hands, coming to flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing through the feet, reaching up. And exhaling back to heart center. Good, let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, the arms up, slight arch to the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, really going as deeply as you can into that fold. Inhale, stepping or jumping the feet back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale, stepping or jumping the feet up, flat back. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, lifting up and coming back to heart center. Okay, this one on your own. Inhale. Inhale, flat back. Inhale, jumping to plank. And 2 breaths in downward dog. In your downward dog, see if you can let the chest fall towards the floor. Let the head hang and press through the base of each finger into the floor. Inhale, step or jump the feet forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reaching up. And exhaling to heart center. Good. I'm going to turn sideways on my mat so you can see me better. Our next pose is called Kati Chakrasana. And so this pose is to stimulate the heart chakra. So we have 7 main, where our body is filled with chakras, which are energy centers, which is not just something made up by New Age Westerners in the last 100 years. This is something actually that you find all throughout South Asian religions. But we can save that for later. You don't need to know about that to benefit from this pose. This pose is stimulating the energy center near the heart, but we don't want to hit directly on the heart, so we're actually going to hit above it on the chest. And I'm actually going to move my microphone over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring the feet about shoulder width apart, so meaning a little bit wider than hip width. We're going to create a nice stable, a nice loose base. Extend the arms, and first I'll do it in slow motion. We're going to inhale, center, and we're going to exhale, bringing the left hand to thump the chest, again, above the heart, below the clavicle, as we twist and reach the right arm back. Then we'll inhale, coming back to center. Exhale as we twist to the left and thump with the right hand. All right, so we'll start out slow together, and then we'll move a little bit faster and faster and faster, okay? So thumping with intention, but not overly aggressively. Let's inhale. Exhaling through the nose. Pulling the belly in. Shoulders nice and loose. Hips loose, knees loose. Moving a little bit faster. A little bit more intention, a little bit faster. Should be able to hear those exhales through the nose. Closing the eyes. Slowing down. And then keeping the eyes closed, gradually coming to a stop, Becoming still, but still soft. Breathing normally here. And feeling the movement of energy in your body. Maybe you feel your hands tingling, maybe your head a little bit tingly, maybe your whole body. Just enjoy this moment here. Let's take a long, deep inhale. And exhaling through the mouth. Good. And open your eyes. That's one of my favorites. From here, you can come to the front of your mat. I'm going to stay sideways on my mat so that I can demonstrate. And we're going to come into what is essentially a figure four. This is a balancing pose. It's a variation on tree. We're going to inhale up through the top of our head and think about exhaling down through the right side of your body, down through the base of your right foot and into the earth. And we're getting that foot grounded. And then on your next inhale, you bring your hands to heart center, lift and bend the left leg, and then we're going to sit back, bending the right leg as if we're going into chair on one leg. The ankle of the left leg is resting just behind the right knee, and the left foot is flexed. Going as far as you feel comfortable, as far as you can balance. If you feel that you have no balance, that's fine. You can grab a chair, you can position yourself next to a wall. If you're in the middle of an empty room and you have none of those things, you can also put your hands on the floor. Keeping your gaze a few feet out in front of you. And feeling a nice stretch in the hip. If you can, on your next exhale, sit back a little bit more. Jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Sitting down a little bit deeper if you can. And then on your next inhale, reaching up to the sky, I'm going to shift myself sideways on my mat, and we're going to step back with that left leg into triangle pose. So the right toes are pointing forward. The left toes are at a 45-degree angle. We're going to inhale, stretching the arms out, and we're going to exhale, taking a slight bend in that front leg and leaning over into our triangle pose. Depending upon your flexibility here, you can put your hand on your shin, you might make it to your ankle, you might even get all the way down to hook 2 fingers around that big toe. The important thing here is not how far you're leaning down, but that you're keeping your body as much as possible in one plane. Imagine that you're between 2 plates of glass. So for me, I can come all the way down to my big toe, but I'm a little bit crooked here. I'm not really in one plane. If I come up to my ankle, I can feel my hips align much better with my front leg. So that's where I'm going to go. Maintaining the ujjayi breath. You can look straight ahead. You can also look up at that top hand. For some of you, if that creates stress on the neck, you can also look down at the foot. The strength of this pose comes from the inner thighs, so you don't want to be collapsing. You want to be stretching out the side of the body, but you don't want to be crunching the opposite side. So you want to be lifting up and using the inner thigh muscles to do so. On your next inhale, you're going to bend your front knee and you're going to feel as if you're pulling with your back arm up to standing. Good. And then exhale, coming back to the front of your mat. Again, I'm going to turn sideways on my mat so that you can see me, but you can stay at the front of your mat. Switching to the opposite foot. We're going to inhale up to the top of the head. Exhaling down through the left foot into the earth. Inhale, lifting the right leg. Exhale, sitting back. Again, bringing the ankle a little bit behind the knee, flexing the foot. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Let your legs do the work here, not your face. Sitting back a little bit on your next exhale. And a little bit deeper. And then on your next inhale, pressing up through the standing leg. And then, oops, let me go this way. And stepping back into triangle. Left toes pointed forward. Right toes pointed at 45 degrees. Inhale, exhale, bending the front knee and stretching down, arriving wherever you are on the opposite side. So you might be more or less flexible here. As much as you can, you want to mimic the pose you have on the other side in order to create balance in the body. Again, using the strength of the inner thighs to support the pose. Draw the belly towards the spine. And think about shifting those hips forward in front of you. So you don't want your butt sticking out. Shift the hips forward. On your next inhale, slight bend in the front leg. Feel yourself being pulled up by your right arm. And exhale, coming to the front of your mat. Taking a moment here, making sure the body is relaxed. Let's take a deep inhale up to the top of the head. Exhale down through the feet. Staying at the top of your mat, but I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. We're going to come into goddess pose. So feet are about shoulder width apart, and slightly turned out. We're going to inhale, reaching the arms up, coming up on our toes, and then we're going to exhale, coming down into a squat, placing the weight on our heels. If you find you don't have the flexibility to put your heels on the floor, you have a couple of options here. One is to roll up your mat and place your heels on it, like this. Another is to take a pillow, if you need a little bit more height, and put it beneath the heels. Use what you need, but make sure those heels are supported so that you're not leaning forward and missing out on the stretch in the deep hips. The forearms are pressing against the knees and helping to open up the body, and the chest is coming up and forward. Close your eyes here if you like and go deeply into the pose, directing each inhale into those hips, with each exhale releasing the tension. Good. On your next exhale, you're going to come forward into plank, and then we'll come down into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, nice and slow, and exhale back into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. On your next exhale, you'll come back onto your knees. And here we're going to do a sort of dynamic camel, Ustrasana. So as we are trying to loosen up the body, we're going to do a camel pose, which can often be quite intense and deep, especially on a stiff body. And we're going to gradually sort of rock ourselves into it. I'm going to move towards an angle here so you can see me a little bit better. So watch me and then we'll do it together. So we're going to inhale, reach the arm back towards the foot. Maybe you reach it, maybe you don't. Inhale, reach it back. Inhale, reach it back. So you see that I'm rocking the body. You can actually do it with a little bit of cross body motion here. Okay, join me for this one. And don't worry about getting it perfect. We're opening up the chest. We're warming up the back here. The exact technique doesn't matter. And remember to breathe. Each time you lift the arm in the front of your body, inhale. As the arm comes behind you, exhale. Think of it like a dance. Good. And then we're going to inhale, stretching up with our hands, supporting us behind the back. And then we're going to exhale, taking a gentle back bend, tipping the chin back. If you want to go further here, you may, but if you're not feeling it, just stay here with me. Remember to breathe. If you like, you can continue rocking back and forth a little bit. And then on your next inhale, we'll come down into child's pose. Knees together, Arms at your side, palms facing up. Long, slow Ujjayi breaths. Directing each inhale into the lower back. On your next inhale, lift your head, place your hands on the ground in front of you, and then on our exhale, we're going to kind of slither our legs back and come onto our bellies. And we're going to go into Uddiyanasana, which is flying bird pose. So you can go ahead and rest your chin on the mat. Relax your whole body. Let it just sink into the floor for a minute. You can even turn your head. Let's turn our head. Let our whole body be supported for a minute. Let's take an inhale here. And as you exhale, completely release. Just sink into the ground. Then on your next inhale, you'll bring your chin to the ground. We're going to exhale, thinking about exhaling down through our belly button into the earth. And then on our next inhale, we're going to lift our legs and lift our arms. Our palms will be facing down towards the ground. Our legs are apart. Our arms are out wide from our body. So think about a bird. Think about like a swallow with the split tail, the legs coming out like that. And here we're strengthening the legs, we're strengthening the back. The shoulders remained relaxed away from the ear. Again, the face and the jaw relaxed. Let the rest of your body do the work. And remember to breathe. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. And exhale down to the ground, putting the opposite cheek on the floor. Take a breath here. And your next inhale, lift your head, place your hands on the ground. Exhale back into child's pose, this time knees apart, hands stretched in front of you. Breathe into the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, using your hands, walk yourself up so you're sitting back on your knees. From here, we're going to go into cow face. You're going to come forward onto your hands, take your left leg, cross it over your right leg so your knees are aligned. And then you're going to bring your feet out to the side. And then sit back. So why this is called cow face is that these are sort of like your feet are sort of the ears of the cow. So ideally, you want your feet in the same line. You may or may not be able to do that. Today, I'm not able to do that. This foot is a little bit behind, but ideally, you want your feet coming forward like the two equal ears of the cow. Both sit bones on the ground, so if you need to compromise something in this pose, compromise it here. It might mean bringing the knee up a little bit like this. They might not sit directly on top of each other, but get the two sit bones on the ground. And then from here, we're going to inhale, stretching up through the spine, and exhale, coming forward. If you're already feeling the stretch sitting up straight, you may not be coming forward, however. This can be a very intense pose. It targets muscles in the hips that we don't normally get to with the other major stretches. Draw the belly towards the spine. Relax the shoulders, let the elbows drop. If you have the flexibility, you can even bring the elbows down to the floor. You can rest the chin on the knees. But again, you want to keep those sit bones on the floor. So if you feel them sneaking off, go ahead and lift yourself back a little bit. And breathe. Every exhale, think about releasing the muscles around the hips. This is great for also releasing the lower back. And our next inhale, we're going to rock forward, and we're going to bring the opposite knee over top. Again, bringing those feet about as equal as you can, which might mean bringing one back, the other forward, both sits bones on the ground. We're going to inhale, lifting up through the spine, and then if you still have room available to you, coming forward. Ooh, this side is a little bit tighter. Again, keeping those sit bones on the ground. That's the important part here. Relax the shoulders. Breathe into the pose. On your next inhale, using your hands to press yourself back up. And then we're going to lean back on our hips with our hands on the floor and bring our legs out. Wide leg. So the thing here is that you want to have your knees and your toes pointed towards the ceiling. So if you're here, that's great. If you're here, that's also great. If you're even further, wonderful. But be wherever you are. The important thing is that the knees and the toes are facing towards the sky. We're going to inhale and then exhale, walk the hands forward, keeping a flat back. And pressing the backs of the knees towards the floor, gently. Belly drawn towards the spine. On your next inhale, go ahead and round the back and see if you can go a little deeper into the pose. You might also feel this in the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, walking your hands up. And we're going to lay down on our mats. A couple more poses before we close. We'll go next into Setu Bandhasana, into half bridge pose. So you can bring your heels all the way up to the tips of your fingers. For some people that will be comfortable. For some that might hurt your knees, in which case, like me, you can bring your heels a little bit further out. Legs hip width apart, spine nice and straight. We're going to inhale, lifting the hips to the sky. Exhale, slowly lowering it down, vertebra by vertebra. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Go ahead and move at your own pace here. Use your ujjayi breath. And as you come up and down, imagine that you're massaging your spine against the floor. Really take pleasure in it. These small movements. And then on your next inhale, you're going to go ahead and hold here. You can keep your hands flat on the floor, or if you like, you can clasp them beneath your body and roll the shoulders under. Once you've got that position, go ahead, press the hips up, but let the belly relax so that we're not pushing a rounded belly up. Let it flatten a little bit. Pushing through the heels. And breathing, face relaxed. And exhale, slowly lowering down. Bring your knees to your chest, stretch out your back. Go ahead and roll side to side. Massage the spine. And then we're going to roll frontwards and backwards. So you can grab your legs behind the thighs, and we're going to massage the spine this way. Continuing to breathe. And then next time that you roll back, very slowly, using your hands on the floor, we're going to come back into a plow position. Using the support of our hands on our lower back. Here we'll walk our elbows in as much as you can. And then on your next inhale, you'll raise your feet up for shoulder stand. Goal in shoulder stand is to get your feet completely vertical. A lot of times we'll bring the tendency will be to bring the feet over the head, partly because it takes some of the pressure off the elbows. See if you can bring the feet back a little bit to get them straight above the hips. Again, relax the face, relax the neck. When we're in these inversions like this, it enhances something called venous return that actually is quite good for the cardiovascular system. It's also very calming for the body. The next exhale, we're going to drop the feet back over our head into plow. Take a couple breaths here, breathing into the back of the thighs. And then on your next exhale, we're going to roll back down and we're going to come into the counter pose, which is Matsyasana, which is fish. We're going to bring our hands underneath our lower back or underneath our bums, stretching out our legs and using our elbows, we're going to press up and very gently place the top of the head on the ground, opening up the throat. Also beautiful for opening up the heart. And breathe here. On your next inhale, press into your elbows and go ahead and lay down on the floor. Now we're going to move into Shavasana, our last pose and our final resting pose of our practice. Before you move into that, if there's anything else you feel like you need to do, if you feel like you need to roll around a bit, if you feel like you need to do a spinal twist, go ahead and do that. Listen to your body in these moments before we rest. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come into Shavasana. And in Shavasana, find what's comfortable for you. So maybe that means adjusting ponytail, stretching out the spine a little bit, lifting up the legs, lengthening them out of the hip, lengthening the arms out of the shoulders. Some of you might find it comfortable to lay with the palms facing up, the hands near the body. Some of you with your arms out, or with your hands on your stomach. Find what's comfortable for you. We want to release all tension in the body here. And then once you've found a comfortable position, feel your breath slow. Relax the muscles of your face, around your eyes, around your mouth. And check in with your shoulders. Are they completely relaxed? Is there something else you could let go of there? In the hips. What are you holding in the hips that you could let go of? On your next exhale, see if you can release it. And your thighs. Completely relax your thighs, the front and back. Revisit the lower back. Is there anything there? See if you can let it go. The knees. The knees can totally relax right now. They don't need to hold any weight. The calves, let them melt right into the floor. The ankles and the feet, let them become like the ankles and the feet of a rag doll. Limp, relaxed. And feel your whole body sink. Getting heavier and heavier as it melds with the floor. And then if you like, you can remain here. Or if you're ready to close the practice, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start waking up the eyes. And reaching an arm above the head, roll over onto your side, bending the knees. Take a moment here. And using helping hands, press up to sitting. And keeping your calm center, at least for a few moments longer. Take a few breaths. And thank you for joining me in this practice. Have a beautiful day.